everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask the Attorney. My name is Blair Clark, and with me, as always, is Mr. David Sobel. David, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, Blair. You can take out the Mister though. You never have to
Okay.
call me Mister.
Yes, young
Young
man,
David Sobel.
young David Sobel,
There you
the
go.
young and David
We'll take
Sobel is here
that.
with us tonight. And David is going to answer the questions that get called into, emailed into. Do people write you letters? Probably not. So the calls and the
Mostly
email,
emails. Yeah.
the calls and the emails that get sent into David's office, his clerks put together like the top 6 or 7, and then we run down each of those for these episodes that we bring you. So before we launch into the questions that people have about real estate law and finance and contracts, etc., David, just real quick for our viewers, how can people reach out to you if they have any questions for you?
It's simple, Blair. You just go to provenresource.com or you can dial us at 888-789-1715.
Mm-hmm.
And that is actually the easiest way to get in touch with us. We'd rather people call and inquire as to whatever their legal concern is, or they can email us. The easiest way to reach out to us, if you're going to go online, is to the provenresource.com website.
Mm-hmm.
You can also type in my name, David Sobel, in the URL, and I should pop up.
Right, and David has a ton of content out there. So if for some reason you're not watching this on the YouTube platform, then go to YouTube and just type David Sobel or Proven Resource or Sobel Law into the search engine, and you'll find all sorts of videos just like this one that you guys are viewing. And we talk about all sorts of things. We talk about contracts, we talk about the purchase and the sale of homes, we talk about investments, we talk about probate, we talk about all sorts of things. So if it touches real estate in the state of Michigan, and then is it all of Ohio or just a certain portion of Ohio?
Pretty much Columbus and up, so northern
Okay.
Ohio.
Northern Ohio.
Central Ohio up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
yeah. So
yeah.
David is your guy for all things real estate.
Yeah,
Law, anyways. So let's dive into our first question of the night. This question, David, is from David. David in Rockford, Michigan. And so he is writing in that he and his spouse co-signed for his mother, and now they are getting a divorce. We don't want to buy this person out. He left the property in May, and the mortgage has been paid by only myself and my mother. Okay, referring to the spouse.
Mm-hmm.
They have not paid any money toward the mortgage since May. How do I get rid of their guarantee? From David in Rockford, Michigan.
Well, first of all, okay, so when we talk about guarantees or co-signers, we're talking about loans and credit. As it relates to real estate, that would most likely be, of course, a mortgage loan, okay? And so banks and credit organizations, lending institutions will require most often a co-signer or a guarantee on certain types of loans. A husband and wife who buy a home are co-signers together, right? But a guarantor may be a third party who isn't really the borrower or co-borrower. They could be the guarantor, somebody who says, I agree to pay in the event that the borrower or co-borrower don't pay. But here's the thing, once you become a borrower or a co-signer or a guarantor on a loan, the only time your name is going to come off is if the creditor says it can come off. And that's very unlikely. Usually the only time anybody's released is when a mortgage is either refinanced or a home is sold. Okay. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Very rare that any guarantor is released from a transaction by a creditor. Why would they?
Sure.
Why would they want to until they get paid off?
Sure. So just speculating, what would be the concern for David, the question asker, in this situation? Why would they be concerned about getting rid of, it's in quotations, of the spouse's guarantee? Do you suppose they have have an idea that the spouse has like a claim to the property that they may have co-signed.
Well, I mean, if they're splitting up, if there's a
Mhm.
divorce or something like that, if they're not living together anymore, sometimes people think that they're no longer obligated to make a payment under a mortgage. You know, even if you get divorced, you know, they'll have a, the divorce decree may say, you know, husband and wife are now separated or now divorced, and only the ex-husband has to make the payments. But under the divorce decree, that's one thing, but the mortgage, that person, both parties are still on that contract. And the creditor does not have to release the parties until, again, there's a refinance or a sale.
Mhm.
So, you know, you may not be obligated to make a payment, but let me tell you, if somebody doesn't make a payment and there's a divorce, both parties are still obligated to the mortgage company.
Sure.
Got that?